So I've got a question for both of you, and I want to ask this because it says something about something very unique. I think you guys are both doing in order to approach scientifically the possibility or the reality of the UAP presence. You both are drawing correlations or looking for correlations between historical events and data left behind in historical events involving potential UAP, and then data that you can really gather in the normal fashion using scientific method and the instruments you need for your science. So, Beatriz, you're doing this by drawing correlations between historical mass UFO events or events taking place
Yeah.
with nuclear weapons or in conjunction with nuclear weapons, and then astronomical data. Garry's doing it with historical UAP sightings where materials are allegedly left behind, and yet he's examining the materials in a way that would be extremely normal within science. So, maybe both of you could comment on that because I think that's very unusual for scientists to do this outside of kind of forensic studies.
Well, I
Yeah,
can
you
start
first.
with, oh, I'll start with one and then you think of yours, Bea. So, for instance, I've been looking at the Ubatuba sample, and the results that I have with Jacques are radically different than those of Robert Powell. And he actually contacted me a couple of weeks ago to let me know. He said, "Well, wait a second, Garry. I think you're wrong. I know X." And so we've been corresponding back and forth about the difference between my results and his. And the short answer is we're both right, and that we might have actually each received different samples. And so we're actually talking right now about seeing whether or not well, we're going to try to compare and see what it is and what the chains of custody are for the samples, and see whether or not there's at the very least a paper to put out there on them. But there's no way X and Y can be true at the same time. But it's a positive interaction where we're looking for the truth of the matter, and neither of our egos are involved in the outcome, except we want the truth. We want to find the truth before the internet trolls do.
That sounds good.
Yeah, no, it's good and it's fun.
Yes.
So
So
Beatriz, maybe you could say a word about this because to me, Beatriz, one of the things that struck me about your work when I first encountered you was and I've already said it in this interview, but it was very ingenious of you to look back at these old astronomical plates. It was a simple decision, but you were able to say, look, pre-Sputnik, there shouldn't be anything there.
Well, this was a chance thing because I was looking for vanishing stars, and then one, of course, discovers that there are multiple uses of these pre-Sputnik plates. So it wasn't. I mean, it came from another work as initially, but then let me think where it was leading. I'm also thinking a little bit about these other projects I have, like hobby projects where we are like looking at the Baltic Sea anomaly, and we also have another case of a possible crashed UFO. And then we also would like to collect samples, of course, to learn what it is, what are these materials, and to get them analyzed to know if there's something special about these objects or if they are very mundane things. Because there's one thing to watch things on images. Like astronomers, we watch things on the images and we try to interpret them, but we don't touch the objects. And another thing to actually go there, like Garry gets the samples, the material, and does the material analysis. And we also would like to have that opportunity with our projects. So I think that's the real goal, not only to think about is like not only to model or interpret observational signatures, but to actually get a part of such an object and have it in your hand to analyze.
So, oh, go ahead, Garry.
No, it's okay.
Well, I was going to say this is where the two of you in your research very much intersect, because you're both interested in materials for this reason. And that brings us to what's often the omnipresent question with UAP, which is how does secrecy end up intersecting with scientific research? And both of you, I think, have encountered the fact that the U.S. government has had longstanding interest in UAP and does treat UAP as an intelligence matter. Garry had a surprise visit from intelligence community scientists many years ago who wanted to speak with him about UAP related research. And Beatriz, I think you've had your own encounters with people from the intelligence community that have shown a little too much interest in your research. So perhaps both of you could say a word about that.
Well, I mean, my story is well recounted. It was the introduction of me to the medical issues around, well, ended up being mostly Havana syndrome, but a host of similar cases. But I think, again, the positive outcome of all of this has been, I've worked directly and positively now with people from the Senate Intelligence Committees, the House Intelligence Committee. This is even pre-Sol, and the FBI, who have all come forward in the most positive sense, seeking help and advice. So, to the extent that there are, shadow elements trying to stop stuff, the positive aspects of both government and, let's call it, police investigatory elements of the government are now stepping forward to, at the very least, ask for help, and have in several cases, even military people have offered me personal security if I ever need it, because they recognize the value of people stepping forward like this. So yeah, there's negative, but there's also a fair amount of positive.
Well, I don't know how much I can say about this but to start with, I only work with very transparent data, and I only work with things that you can download from online, like these Palomar plates that are publicly available. I don't have access to any sort of secret stuff. And everything that, like, for example, the stuff we do work with the Baltic Sea anomaly is going to be public when published. But yes, there is an interest, and I have been approached by curious people that want to know a lot about the science I'm working with, including this, the crash retrieval stuff. And I don't have so much to, like, I don't have information that they cannot get in public, because I don't have any security clearance. I will probably never have it because I'm not good at keeping secrets, and I have never signed an NDA. So if someone sends me someone of these guys or girls, or if someone, when they have been coming to ask me questions, everything I do is public. Everything I do can be found in my interviews or at the universities, like official documentation, or in my papers, especially in my papers, because a lot of people ask me questions that are actually in the papers, but that they don't read. So there's no, like, big secrets. Well, the crash retrieval projects are still, like, not having any public information about them, but there is interest.
But a necessary condition of doing research that would be that sensitive and that could be that breakthrough.